Hi, welcome to Apache Hadoop 3x course. I'm Abhishek Sakuja from UpDegree, and in this video we are going to look the network and SSH connection to our virtual machine. Now, why do we need to set up a network over here? Although this is our machine. Let's see why do we really need it. I'll go to the terminal. If I do my ifconfig, I should be able to see my IP. Let me make it bigger. So if you can see that we already have been assigned one IP address, and this IP address have a connection from a local. Like I can just go ahead and try to ping this machine, and it may look like the networking has been appropriately set. So yes, I'm able to ping. That's good, which means that I should be able to connect our machine from this local machine, right? But what's the problem with it? Now, when we are going to set up a Hadoop environment and we try to set our master nodes, the slaves, how do they communicate? What is the call that they're going to make? They're going to make an RPC call. They're going to make an HTTP call, which requires a fixed IP address to the machines. Now, here we haven't set any networking configuration, which means that this IP has been allocated dynamically. For example, if I have machine 1, 2, 3 and they have been allocated 101, 102 and 103 IP address, then if I change the sequence of starting those machines, like third for at the first place, second at the first place, like that, the IP address will be adopted in the same manner. The third machine will get 101 instead of 103 and so on and so forth. So this means our networking is not static, it's not stable. We have to configure that. Another reason is that once I'm into this machine, definitely working on a Ubuntu machine, as I already told you, it's not that convenient. You have to go into the operating system, then open the terminal, copy paste from outside, copying files. It's not very convenient to work on this. So we are going to connect to this machine from a terminal. For that, in our previous session, we have already installed OpenSSH-server, which help us to connect to a protocol for SSH on a port 22. Okay, so which means if in the last session we have already installed the SSH, you can just try to do a telnet on that IP address and it should be connected, which will show you that yes, you have installed your SSH, and if it says connected on port 22, which means your SSH is there. But let's make it static connection, and then we'll see that how securely we can make a connection to this machine, either with a password or with a different something called as private and public keys. So first, what we need to do, we'll go to the networking and change this IP address. How do we change the IP address? We just need to make the note of the adapters. Once we have adapters, let me copy them. Control Shift C or right click copy, and we'll change the adapter settings, make it this IP address as a static according to our choices. We'll make in such a way that our IP address will be like 192.168.56. The first machine will have 31, the second machine will have 32, and so forth. So for that, I have to go to file, which is etc network interfaces. But again, as I said, this is a system file, so I cannot directly access it like this. I have to use sudo to change it and then give the password. We are inside this file. So what you need to do is, I've already copied an adapter, so I'll paste the adapter name over here so I don't forget it, and then copy this and paste it 2 times. Copy, paste time 1, paste it again, copy the interface that we have and paste it over here. Oops, I didn't copy properly. I just pressed Ctrl C. That's why. So how do I undo it? Just press Escape U. It will just undo. So I remember the adapter name is ENPS03. So I just need to change wherever it's LO written, which is your local host. So that's what it means. So I just need to make my adapter over here. So as you can see, similarly on the second one, I just need to have my adapter as 08, which is the second adapter, ENPS08. Now as I want to make this one as static, so I need to, instead of loopback, I just need to mention it as static, and then address whatever I want to give the address, like 192.168.56.31, because this is my machine 1. Right, in the previous we are looking at machine 2, but I'm just working on both the machines so that if on one machine I have networking set, so in the other machine I can show you that how to set it up. Okay, so address, then you need to just give the net mask. You can read on these network configuration what exactly net mask is. Net mask is just going to provide you that how many IP address you are allowed to create. So there are actually, we are saying 255, but normally you get 254 IP addresses to set. So here that's what the net masking, and we have give a static IP address. And on the second one, which is your DHCP, dynamic host control protocol, which will help you to make your internal IP a connection with the outside world, so which is your local machine. So that is what DHCP will be here. Once you done, save it and close it. How? Escape :WQ. And we need to restart the networking. So to restart the networking, you can say sudo system, it's better to go etc init.d, and then you have a file called networking, and you say stop. Do not restart. Once you restart it, it is not going to be effective. So you stop your networking and then you restart your networking. I can see there is some error. Okay, so it looks like I have given a wrong interface name. So let me check. If I go back inside our configuration file, it's enp0s3. That's correct. So this is 0s3, this is 0s3, and here is 0s8, 0s8, enp0s8. Let's check enp0s8. Okay, fine. Now let's try to stop and then start it back. Okay, let's check the IP config. It's the same. So sometimes it does happen that this networking doesn't restart. So a best way to do it, you have to do it a couple of times. If it is not, it's best way to just power off the machine, a very quick way, and you can just get started. So there are different commands which you can use for networking restart, but I've already observed that those sometimes work and sometimes it doesn't. The best way is just to restart the machine. Alright, so we have restarted our machine and our networking should be configured. So we go to terminal, ifconfig, let me make it big, and it should, yeah. So you can see that the new IP has been assigned. Now if I go to my iTerminal, which is like you can use also if you're working on Windows, you can use command prompt for that, just to try to ping. Right, and of course this will not ping because we have removed this IP address. Now we have 31, and yes, it works. I will also check the telnet with my port. We did telnet over here. Let me just copy this and paste it over here. I will do with 31 and it should work. Yes, it is connected. Now I can directly do an SSH. I will just do SSH, and our user is up degree, so I can use the same. So I'll go over here, I'll do up degree at, we have 192.168.56.31, and once I do this, I'll say yes, and it will just ask me the password, and woohoo, I'm connected to the machine. So this is just simple. Now, but in Hadoop world, we do not try to connect to the machine using the password, we do with the keys. Now what is the keys? Let us do that as well. So if I quit from here, exit from here, and I'm back on machine, so we need to create some keys. Rather than creating the keys over here, I can do it there itself. So that would be quick for me. So I'll go back to the machine, I connect on the machine, and I try to create some keys. Let me tell you what types of keys it is. So think about, there is a lock and there is a key. So when you get into a house, what you do, you have a key and you just open the lock and get inside it, right? Similarly, for the servers also, we have the same thing. We can keep a lock on the machine and give the users a key. So if the user comes with the right key, then only he will be able to enter the machine, otherwise not. Right? We will also make sure that the lock access can only be accessed by certain user itself. It is not that everyone who has a key, they will be able to open the lock. No, there will be certain set of configuration that we can make as an authorized person to come and only access those keys, right? So that's a special kind of lock that we can have using the configuration on the Ubuntu. Now, how do we create those keys and the locks? So you can use something called SSH hyphen keygen, which is going to generate a key, hyphen T RSA, which is a type of encryption that we are going to use, and then you can give password without. Now there is another level of authentication which we generally don't use it in Hadoop, where you can have a password on top of a key as well. Say you have a key, you come with a key, you try to unlock, but we can also do one thing, like once you open it, there is also a passcode that you need to enter to get inside the house. So you can skip that passcode for now. We will just have a lock and the key, and the right person will be able to insert the key. That's kind of configuration. Okay, so once it's done, you can just hit enter, right? So what it will do, it will create some keys which is inside this location. So this is your location, this is your home location. So if I go inside this, I'll be able to see two keys. One is called ID RSA, which is a private key, and ID RSA.pub, which is a public key. So ID RSA is the key which is required by you as a client to connect to a machine, and this is your lock. Now, even though this key contains the lock key, right, but you have to authorize that particular key as well. So for that, what we're going to do, we're going to copy this public key and make it as a authorized key, saying that yes, this is the right key that we would like to make someone enter into the server. So we'll name it as authorized key. If you do not do this, even the person is having this key will not be able to enter this server with the matching with the public key. So then you have to make it as an authorized key. Once you do this, hit enter, and you'll be able to see that we have another key which is an authorized key. So what we need to do, the person need to have this key. Let's copy this key. Now what we can use cat, we can use more to open that file. So I'll say ID RSA. So this is your private key. I will copy this private key and store on my local machine. So let me open another terminal, which is my local. I will say that this is I already have a folder called up degree over here. Inside that, I will create a key saying that up degree private, or say ppk private key dot ppk. So once you open this, paste that over here. This is your private key. Save it and close it. Once you have this key, you need to make sure that this key has only 600 permission, otherwise it's not gonna work. Why? Because it has to be only read and executable mode. So once I change this, if you look inside this, yes, we have a key which is read and write, because yes, I've opened it and would like to change it, but it is read and the write because I give 6. So 6 means 4 read, 2 write. If I would have given 5, then it has been read and execute. So let's try to SSH again with this key. So I'll say SSH -I to use the key. And where is the key? Our key is updegree.ppk, and the machine IP that we have to use, but we also give to the by which user we are going to log in, because this key belongs to updegree user at 192.168.56.31. Voila. So yes, we have entered into the machine without giving a password, and this is what we need on the Hadoop cluster, that we are going to log in. The machine is able to connect to each within the cluster. Each machine will be able to connect to each other without having a password. That's what we are going to look in the upcoming sessions. Thank you.